Hey everybody, in this video I'm going to go through the constructions of segments, and this particular skill is doubling or tripling a segment. So this problem asks us to use a compass and a straight edge to draw a segment double the length of any given segment, or sorry, of the given segment. Your final answer should be exactly one blue segment, which may or may not overlap the given segment. So same as the previous skill, we have our compass, segment, ray, line, tools, and the undo. If we are going to double or triple a segment, multiply it in some way, it's got to be on the same line. So my first step in these problems, I got to extend this line further to be able to double it or triple it or however many times I want to multiply it. So I'm going to click the line tool and I will click and drag to draw a line. This is like taking my ruler and creating a longer line through this segment. So you'll click one endpoint and drag it to the other. Now we have this line here. Now that I have this line here, we are ready to start doubling in this case. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my compass and I will click one of my endpoints of the segment and I will drag it to the opposite. So now my radius is the length of the segment. And since my compass is now set up, we've essentially measured the length of the original segment. I'm going to move the compass down. I'm going to move the compass down to the opposite endpoint, and I'm going to draw an arc on that outside edge, farther away from the original segment. So now, if I get rid of the compass tool, I have our original segment, and then the same distance away, we have this other arc, which intersects our original line that we had set up. And now I can use the segment tool to start at the original endpoint and go all the way to this arc. And if we constructed it right and we didn't change our compass at all, this segment is exactly double the original. So let's try one more. I'm going to draw a line. First of all, I want to use the compass and straight edge to draw a segment double the length. So I will start by drawing a line through this segment to extend it further. And I will measure the original segment by drawing a circle with a center at one endpoint and the edge at the other. And then you will move your center to that opposite endpoint. So you can now draw an arc that intersects the line. And now I can create a segment from one endpoint to the opposite arc, and that will be double. All right, let's look at triple. So we're going to use a compass and straight edge to draw a segment triple the length of the given segment. Your final answer should be exactly one blue segment, which may or may not overlap the given segment. So same as before, if we are doubling or tripling or multiplying, extending this line further, I want it to be the same line. So I'm going to draw a line that goes forever in both directions through that segment. So click and drag to create a full line. And then I want to measure this segment again. So I am going to open up the compass and click and drag to draw a circle with a center at one endpoint that goes through the opposite endpoint. Now, I hope you notice if I draw an arc on this opposite end here, this is actually going to be double, right? This is double the original segment. Instead of the radius, we have the diameter of the circle if we go from one end of the circle to the opposite. So I can strike an arc opposite our original segment, and then I can shift the center of our circle down to that other point, and I can create an arc on the opposite end. So now if I remove this compass, you notice you have your segment, and then on each side opposite it, you have arcs. And those arcs you know are the same distance from your segment because they have the same radius. It's the same circle set to the same compass width. So now I am going to draw a segment from one of my arc intersection points to the other. And make sure you draw it as one segment. Don't break it up into 3 different segments. So now I will submit. All right, so tripling is very similar. You just essentially double it on both sides. Please let me know what questions you have and check out the next section's video.